First mod I ever did to a car, okay, this is cool. Like, this is where I know this is going to be something I like for the rest of my life. Justin Letterick from Moncton. Current project car, 99 Skyline, 04 Jetta, and I guess 61 Beetle someday when I make room in here for it. But my uncle is actually a big influence for me, so I grew up around him having vintage Volkswagens, went to a lot of cool meets and shows and stuff with him. First car show I ever went to was MVOC, which was right here in Moncton actually. And I kind of fell in love with it, I guess, from then. Just like the vibe, like the crew, like the experience, and it's just fun. I remember the first time I got to like drive in the front seat of this Beetle because I was really small. I was at the back seat of the car, so I got to sit in the front seat of this, and it didn't have seat belts. I was like, this is so cool. Or like the first time I changed like a spare tire, I actually changed it on my grandfather's car for the first time. He's like, oh, my tire got flat. Changing my first car tire, I was like, yo, this is sick. Or like the first mod I ever did to a car, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. Like, this is where I know this is gonna be something that I like for the rest of my life. There's two answers to this. There's the first car that like I modified, or there's the first car that was real, like actually modified. The first car I ever modified was my 03 Matrix. It's the first car I ever had that was standard. It's the first car that I was like, I really liked. I remember this is when like plastic dip was super popular. It's like 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
I like did all the interior trims in red because the car was red to match. I did like rally over mud flaps with like stickers, like just small stuff like that. Absolutely love that car. That was like still like probably top 10 cars I've ever owned. I don't, just probably the nostalgia, but. And then my first like actually modified car was a 2001 Jetta 1.8T Wolfsburg, which was like still my dream car. And I remember like, that was the first car I ever had that was lowered. First car was like wheels, like blow up valve, first turbo car. And putting the coilovers in, because I had no idea what I was doing. It took 3 days. I broke so much stuff. And they were used coilovers. They were used Racelands that I got. They were probably like been through like 4 cars. They were like mismatching. They were blown. As soon as I put them in, they were blown. I didn't care. I drove the bag off that thing. I loved it. Like, but that was still, that thing was a heap, but still fun. Still loved it. I had to catch on fire on me while driving. The fuse box and the battery, it sounded like fireworks when I was driving. And I'm like, why is this thing overheating? Like, why is there smoke coming up? And I was like, oh shit. I think I love it so much, just like the name. It's a Skyline. Like, obviously it's a 4-door automatic sedan. It's not everybody's cup of tea. It's not even my cup of tea really when I got it, but it's something different. It's just cool to experience like a right-hand drive car. And I don't know, like you look at the cluster and you feel like you're in a Fast and Furious movie, like because it has the same gauge cluster as what was in Too Fast, Too Furious. And every time I drive that, I look down, I'm like, this is sick. That's the cool part. For the Jetta, it's just the nostalgia factor. Like I'm infatuated with those cars. I have no idea why. Even this one, like it's a 2-point slow. It's not the fastest thing in the world. Still get a smile every time I drive it. Obviously, buying it with a ton of modifications already into it, it's either going to go 2 ways. 1, it's going to be the previous owner's car forever, or 2, you take it and you make it your own. Kind of blessed in that sense that that car has been modified just so properly, and everything that was done to it's been executed so well that it's making my job easier by making adjustments and changing things. For now, it's probably going to stay as it is, which doesn't look too much different than how I bought it, but enough to set it apart. But next year, it'll definitely be a very different car. Kind of excited for it.
Nice.
the last 2+ years, ever since I crunched my leg, I haven't really had a chance to drive a car. That year, just my leg didn't work. The year after, I just wasn't really in a place to drive cars. I built them and sold them, and that was pretty much it. So this year, now that I have the car here, got suspension pretty much dialed in, I just want to drive it, have fun, just do something I haven't done in a while. Probably at 2. One was going 200 on McLaughlin, just because I wanted to see if we could do it. And 2 is probably just like the experience of getting this car. So I bought this car December 2019, so pre-COVID. It arrived, it got delayed at port due to railroad strikes because everything got pushed back at all the ports. Then when it arrived at port is when the border shut down. So I illegally crossed the border, got pulled over trying to go get it, almost got arrested. Had to wait, this was in March of 2020. I waited till July when the border opened to go get it. So it was 3.5 month wait. Sitting there at port knowing that my car is there, I've seen it, I've touched it, but I can't take it home yet. So I went, like the day I originally went to get it, I didn't have the proper paperwork because A, I imported the car myself, so I had no idea what I was doing. And B, I had no idea what I was doing. So I didn't have any of the proper stuff to actually leave with that day, so I got to like go into the port, look at it, touch it, sit in it, be like, my car is here, and then I had to leave, not take it. So just the day that I went to go get it, like boarded my boss's truck, rented a trailer, we went down, it was like, it was the day they opened the border, so it was like the 27th or whatever it was that they opened the border. Went down, got this, loaded up in the trailer. It was just driving home with it on the back was just the coolest experience because it was like a 7-month wait to get this car essentially at that point.